You're listening to another ASCI Lounge podcast.
Welcome, members, back to the ASCI Lounge. I'm Monique Fennick, Australasian Supply Chain Institute, and joining us on the lounge today is Ivan Imparato, our CEO. Welcome back to the lounge, Ivan.
Thank you, Monique, and welcome back, everybody, on the lounge with me.
It's been a couple of weeks.
It has. It has been a busy few weeks. I noticed you've done a lot of podcast and information out to our members. It's been a busy 2 weeks, so I think it's going to be even busier coming up to the conference, Monique.
I think you're right.
So no rest for the wicked, as they say, right? So
yeah, correct.
So today, I suppose we'll kick off with just a quick welcome to our corporate members who have joined us again for another year, and thanks to Oliver White and Eaton Industries, D&D Technologies, and Metcash for coming back with us on the journey. So, Monique, before we talk about the conference, I thought maybe we could touch on some trends in supply chain and maybe some education, an update for our members. So I subscribe to a website called scmdojo.com, which is quite a resourceful website full of information about supply chain. And about a week ago, I saw an article about 7 powerful supply chain trends you should not ignore. Right? I was interested in reading it because I found really nothing new, but I'll touch on a couple of them, and I'll go through all 7 quickly, but I'll touch on a couple and then a bit of a conclusion at the end. But the first one, no surprises, big data. Big data is a big force you can't ignore. Has been a buzzword for a long time. But I think some of the key applications that are coming out are things like manufacturers wanting to advise customers about their improved notification of delivery time, for example, or product availability. Freight carriers, reliability to advise time of delivery is another application. And for retailers, enable them to forecast and understand customer sentiment, right? So that's just obvious type benefits that you can get from big data. The second one, close to my heart, is 3D printing. Coming from an automotive background, 3D printing has been spoken about for decades now, and it's still not commercialized at a mass level, but it will be at some point. There's a lot of information being written about 3D printing and some of the potential applications, I suppose, for supply chain manufacturing of inventory. So if organizations hold a lot of slow-moving parts, for example, there's a good case for 3D printing those slow-moving items, especially at the end of the life cycle. Providing vendor-managed 3D printers at a customer site, or even providing a design to a customer to enable them to print from home, for example, is another application. You can get all sorts of benefits from space reduction, agility and response time, and reduction of lead time. So it's out there, but again, it's probably not quite ready for commercialization, but it's not going to be long. Right? The third one is the Internet of Things, Industry 4.0. I think there's a lot of information, a lot of discussion around that topic, which we should all know. Moving to the cloud, the cloud computing can help corporates and organizations to realize some benefits about redefining their traditional supply chain computing facilities and enhance their responsiveness to supply chain disruption. I think that's a key word there. Disruption and responsiveness are key words. The fifth one is gamification of the supply chain. Now, this one's another fairly newish trend, although there's a lot of talk around some of these systems enabling companies to assume a competitive persona or some utilization of reward-based psychology they talk about, which is inherent in gaming to drive behavior in their people. So it's quite an interesting trend that's coming our way. The sixth one is AI. A lot have been talking about AI, and there's a lot of benefits around the introduction of artificial intelligence in various processes to enable efficiencies. And the seventh one is augmented reality. in the office. So, you've got a smartphone or a mobile device with some sort of application which deals with AI of some sort in a supply chain environment. Maybe it's an integrated device with your supply chain system that allows, for example, a buyer to point to their smartphone, right, at a product, and then they receive an instant information about the availability, the pricing, the delivery time, and lead time, and all sorts of information. So quite an interesting application on AR. So the 7 I just pointed out, really, there's nothing new. But the most important thing is they're here to stay, and we need to be ready for this disruption. So I suppose the challenge we face is that we need to, what do you say? You need to forget old habits and adopt new ones. And it's all about that, leap of faith, take the jump, and try it. Go, right? Have a go. Try something new, and also means a life of continuous learning and professional development. And I suppose that's where ASCI comes in to enable our supply chain members to give them the skills to then help them implement some of those trends I've been talking about. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. Every single trend you mentioned there, bar probably 3D printing, involves data and digitization and tools that we can use to make decisions. But what's at the crux of all of that is best practice knowledge and the ability to make good decisions using all of those tools and data. So I think you're right in terms of bringing it back to education to make the best risk-adverse decisions, but also a couple of ones that can offer competitive advantage as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, technology is great, but if you don't have capable people, then really you're not taking advantage of the total the value chain, I suppose, or the outcome that you can provide your customer base. So on that, then on a training update, I'd like to share some key updates for our members about what's happening in the training space or the professional development space. APIC certifications is out now. Our intensive courses, which are delivered in weekly 2-hour sessions, are now open for registration. And the courses commence in September and go throughout the end of the year. And they close on the 23rd of August. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I recall a case study that was issued in one of our member emails, Monique, that you issued. I think it was GE Oil and Gas had a really interesting case study where they've been able to determine that by putting some capability development within their people, some of the outcomes they've achieved, quite astounding, 86% increase in on-time delivery. Now, that's an amazing result, and it's worth a read. And even worth contacting GE Oil and Gas, I suppose, to get more information. But that's a fantastic case study. And what they've been able to do is they've been able to use the CPIM, or the Certified in Production and Inventory Management modules, to make a difference within their organisation. And then CPIM will be able to improve your ability to make decisions, as you said, but also understand how to increase your customer satisfaction and that value proposition. Reduce your cost, provide value to the organisation, not just to your department, and obviously build credibility, increase your knowledge and your skill, and maximise on your return on investment. So it's a no-brainer, I suppose. Why wouldn't you do something like that to enhance your capability within your organisation? And CPOM, just to go in a little bit more information, it covers things like sales and operations planning. It covers material replenishment, demand management, inventory management, continuous improvement, and strategic management of resources or workforce planning to some degree. So a really strong certification that I think is an absolute benchmark for the industry. And the CPIM module is streamlined. It's in 2 parts, so you can do You can do first part and one exam, second part and the second exam. And if you're ready to roll in September, I think you'll probably finish both examinations by the end of the year potentially. So it's really exciting. The second one, I suppose, is another exciting offer is the certification coach, or we call one-on-one tutoring, is now available. And that'll help our members also when they're, just getting ready for the exam. So that's quite a good tool to enable them to, how should I approach it? What are some of the questions? What does this mean in particular to my area? So quite a good coaching opportunity. And also through the education tab, we have an opportunity for people to register for monthly webinars who are run by Clint, who runs them every month. I think the next one is tomorrow. And he'll give an update on what's happening in the space of education and certification. So that's another a good opportunity. And also under the professional development banner, we've got Project Management Academy, which is now fully available at a discount rate of $90 per year. You get access to a lot of content for project management skills requiring, you may require those skills in your projects. It's all online. It's all bite-sized videos accessible on, PC, mobile devices, that sort of thing. So that's out there. Coaching is also available for members through Value Addicts. So remember Laura Heffer. Laura's been helping us out with speaker opportunities. She's done a couple of our roundtables in Sydney and Melbourne as well. So Laura is offering some services about coaching to our members. So that's a great opportunity to lift your coaching skills. And there's many more. So I encourage people to go to www.asci.org.au/development, and we'll keep growing our offerings as we progress and the reason for all this is because we need to be serious about accreditation for our supply chain professionals. And to be accredited, you must have a professional development pathway. And if you're not serious, then don't talk about being a professional, right? Because if you're serious, then you must act seriously and must act as a professional. So, professional development is no longer or should no longer be an option, right? To be a professional, you have to have a professional development program or a capability plan. And it needs to be mandatory. I think the old days of optional are no longer here. So I think that's my key point for today. And next week or whenever the next opportunity, Monique, is some other exciting news out of the US through the Association of Supply Chain. They've just launched their enterprise certification program, which is which is an absolute amazing tool for corporates to benchmark their supply chain and enable them to grow and build sustainability. So I did a quick post this morning in LinkedIn, and if people want more information, please do so. Send an email to inquiries@asci.org.au. I think that's
wow. That's pretty comprehensive, Ivan. Today, getting through, the real reasons and the call to actions as to why we should be registered and be a part of the ASCI community. That's fantastic.
Oh, look, I'm extremely passionate about it, and with technology and the human intervention, it needs to happen. The days of optional training are over, in my opinion. So enough of me. I'll hand it over to you. You got some news about ASCI 2019.
I did a bit of my own big data research today as well. Well, it wasn't that big, but what I discovered was there's over 200 ASCI members in Melbourne who have attended our networking breakfasts over the past couple of months. So there is no reason why anyone should question why we haven't chosen Melbourne for our destination for ASCI 2019. There's so much going on in Melbourne.
Absolutely.
So I think everyone around the country should flock to Melbourne and see what it's made of, and attend ASCI 2019, 17 to the 19th of September. Pullman Melbourne on the Park is the hotel we're hosting us, and there's going to be so many new areas compared to the last conference. We have 2 new streams, technology and innovation, and the future of supply chain management workforce. And I had a podcast interview with Mike Chaffins, the international keynote from Nicola last week. And one thing that he recognised about our conference program is that there is so much about people and capability in this program, which is completely unique from any other conference in supply chain management that you see out there. So we're really proud of that, and we hope that you'll come along and help us celebrate on the first evening of the conference, our ASCI Awards, to celebrate success and achievement as well. So that there's trophies going all round on the first day, and there's also a trophy on the second day, which is the ASCI Leadership Challenge, which should see our next winners of the challenge receive the cup. Ivan.
Yes, that's right. That's Danone is the current incumbent of the trophy. Am I correct? I think I'm correct.
Correct. Yes, they have to hand it over to me next week.
Oh, is that right?
Sad.
Very good.
So we can get it down to Melbourne.
Excellent.
And lastly, if you haven't already helped us out with the State of Supply Chain Management survey, it's our member survey that gives us a benchmark on how we're all travelling as a community in terms of 8 different components that we'd like you to measure your supply chain against. So it's an opportunity to download the PDF, share it with your supply chain team and some cross-functional teams to see how you fare against these components, and then take the online survey, 25 minutes to complete. Keep your PDF version so that when the report comes out, you can benchmark yourself against industry standards. And we're really doing that as a free service to our members to ensure that we are moving the dial on supply chain management, and that we're taking seriously some of the challenges that our members are facing, and turning that into some good education and networking programs for the following year. So please do participate in that so that we can have that information to make our community a better place.
Excellent.
So thank you for joining us, Ivan.
Thank you, and I'll probably see most of the 200 members, maybe not most, all the 200, but at the next event in Melbourne. So thank you all, and we'll talk again next time.
Okay, bye for now.